Hi there. Welcome to Artist in Residence, Living Creatively in the Middle. I'm Jason Alberty. I am speaking with raconteur and musician Gerard Estella. We discuss what it's like to try to be a creative professional in the middle of everything. The thing I am interested in today, Gerard, is when you are doing a project, it's a paid gig, and you have no passion for it. How do you create passion for it?
Good question. Because today I don't take the project.
Now,
When I started,
now that's a lucky position to be in, and you're
Right.
30 years on,
Yeah.
right?
the starting out, I think the number one thing, and it depends when you're saying a project, I think it also depends what role within the project, right? So if I'm the musician being asked as a session musician, can I play on this track? Yep. If it's, very quickly, what people learned about me as a musician is I'm one of the world's probably worst sight readers. And by the way, I would highly recommend being a good sight reader if you're going to be doing session work. There's not a ton of session work in existence anymore. But anyway, regardless of the point, reading is good for you. And I've actually gotten better at it later in life than early in life. But here's the thing. What I got to be known for was being able to provide musical options very quickly to the producer. So I stopped really thinking about, is this a good song or not? Is this artist good or not? And I went, what can I do to help the song? What do I do? The words that are always used is serve the song.
Ihr Jägermeister, Fräulein Song.
Right? So it might be, as a keyboard player, it might be, don't play with your left hand. Get out of the bass way. Get out of that bottom end way. It might be, I've been told, sit on that left hand because we don't like it, right? Get it. What I try to find is, what can I do to serve the song, even if I don't like it? If I didn't like the artist, or I didn't like
Cricket.
management of the artist, it became really tough for me to say yes the second time. Growing up in New York and all the rest of that, and the way that I was raised, I learned early on, if you don't value you, nobody will.
Right.
So it's one of those cases where I took every job that I needed to do, and I try to add value to that job, whether as a musician or a producer. That came later, obviously, but even as an engineer, as a sound technologist. But when I look back and go, how many artists that I didn't like, or I shouldn't say didn't like, that's wrong, didn't enthuse me. There's a, excuse the expression, but there's a crap ton of vanity albums out there that you will never have heard who the person is, but they were somehow related to a lawyer or a doctor or somebody who had, we believe in you, and they did the classic, we're going to invest in some studio somewhere said, hey, if you pay us $10,000, $20,000, we're going to record your album. And they bring real musicians in, and we all show up and we all go, yeah, this sounds amazingly like what I just did yesterday. Or you forget by the afternoon session 3 songs you cut in the morning session. Sessions used to be 3 hours long, blah, blah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They were broken up into 2 sessions. And you'd have a lunch break, and by the time you came back from lunch, I couldn't tell you what I did the first 3 songs. A lot of those, whatever. How did I get through? Was I serving the song? Was it doing anything? Or was it the instant that I feel myself phoning or phoning something in, or just being like, you know what, this is the same part that I just played yesterday? That's when I knew I can't do that, because I stop adding value. And the value proposition as a musician in those type of jobs is being able to come to something that they couldn't come to on their own. If they needed somebody to come in and play the exact part that an arranger played or arranged, They didn't hire me. One time through was enough for them to go, man, it's going to take this kid forever. Bring in da-da-da. Bring in Mark, bring in Chuck Level, bring in these guys. They're freaking monsters, right? And they are monsters. But I also was able to be like, okay, you need 3 new parts to this, or I know how to, in the day, I know how to play a Wurlitzer, but I can also program the Prophet 5. So let's just do that, right? So whatever it is, I think that going back to your question, it's more about what can you find that you're doing that's interesting you about your impact, right? I think when it comes to engineering on music stuff, I think that's because engineers can't be too picky, especially starting out.
Yeah.
Especially if they're like, hey man, the only way you get better is by keep working. And remember, you're a business first, and that's the same thing for me. So even early on, every relationship could land you something that's great or land you in trouble where nobody would ever hire you again.
Right.
So you can't be that guy or gal who's like, well, I don't care about you.
Yeah, I
Right.
think it's important to
Yeah.
to remember that every job
Yeah.
that you're on is an audition for
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so is just meeting somebody at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
So is it like, I did a lot of touring. And I'm just really blessed because having moved to the Midwest, like in New York City, I'm probably more composer guy, and session guy, not, oh, you do live events, you do live shows, and you do film work. And what the hell's all that about? It's simply because I was able to figure out the different markets that my talents were possibly aligned to, at least where clients are going, yeah, it doesn't suck that much. Okay. Right. And we've been able to build on that and blah, 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 and organizationally grow. But the nut of the situation is you cannot afford to be bored. You always have to find what you're adding value to, because that's how you grow. And if I never hear that vanity project, countless that I did in the 90s, right, which paid the bills, it's how I had a car, right, was because it was like, yep, I'm willing to go there. Demos, my good gracious, the number of demos that I've played on. I was brought into songwriting rooms because I was the guy who could they now actually have a phrase for it, like the track builder or something like that. But back in the good old days, it was like, okay, we've got lyricists. We need somebody who can do here's the chord structure and melody. Here's the melody and the harmony that goes to that. So that's how I got asked into those rooms, because people were like, well, he'd play sessions. And I swear I had done a bunch of interesting demos.
Sure.
For Al Jolson Publishing.
Wow.
Right? That's in Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay. The son of Al Jolson runs it.
Sure. How I love it.
Okay. My gosh, this is bad name dropping because whatever. I don't think they're around, so they may not sue me. The end resultant was they were just money gigs.
Sure.
But I still needed to add value.
Yeah.
One person that was playing on one of those sessions was a really talented up-and-coming songwriter. By up-and-coming means they've been doing it for 6 years in Asheville, right? And she called me and said, are you available? We had somebody drop out, and I need somebody who can play keys, because we're thinking this is a piano motif. Show up. Because of that relationship, I ended up doing songwriting and then being asked to do stuff and get a publisher and all the things that come down from that, simply because I tried to still add value, even in a session that I knew was like, wow, somebody's making money on this. I'm getting paid $25.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And this song ain't going to hear daylight. It's never going to be anywhere.
Yeah. And I mean, that gets back to what I think is one of the core things that young creatives need to understand. And it's that luck. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's important, but you got to be ready for it.
It's work.
Yeah.
It's work. Is it luck? Absolutely. But you worked for it.
If you were not trying to add value to that, the luck wouldn't have been there.
Yeah. And the fact that somebody got sick and wasn't able to be there, somebody else would have answered that phone call.
Absolutely.
There's always somebody else, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to learn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you for watching us. This is Artist in Residence, living creatively in the middle. I'm Jason Alberty, as always, with Gerard Estella. If you have any questions, please leave them after the video, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Thank you. Have an awesome rest.
And Bronson, I loved every minute working there. Just saying. Just saying.